Hi everyone, Josh here. So we're back at Passat repairs. So this is my sister's Passat. We did the heater core on. So now we're doing AC. So we didn't have heat when it's cold. Now we don't have AC when it's hot. They're not related, but we just have HVAC issues here with this car. So just quick and easy, we're gonna do a quick diagnostics on the AC system. I debated on making this video mainly as, depending on who you ask, HVAC, air conditioning isn't necessarily a DIY process. And that's basically what I have this channel for, is making DIY repair videos. So to do repairs correctly, you need a lot of equipment. You need the vacuum pump, recovery tank, recovery system, and scale, I guess, for accurate measurement. You need the gauges, and you need R134A to fill it back up. So R134A is, I guess, a controlled substance, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. But you require a license to buy it. So it's basically saying that you know not to purposely release it in the atmosphere, as it's not good for the ozone environment, whatever you want to call it. So not everybody has that, not everybody wants to do the course, and not everybody wants to buy the $460 container of refrigerant. So if you've been at any auto store, Canadian Tire and Princess Auto, especially up here, they sell Red Tech, I think they call it R12A. So that's a little 6-ounce container of Red Tech 12A, I guess is what they call it. So according to their website, it's a hydrocarbon refrigerant. And on the can, it says it's extremely flammable and explosive, whereas R134A isn't. So refrigerant has a boiling point of -26. Red Tech has a boiling point of -34 as their page, that's what they say. And then propane has a boiling point of -40. So the lower the boiling point, the better refrigerant. So Red Tech, I'm going to assume, is a lot of propane, if not most propane. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're going to DIY this and fill it up with a kit from an auto store of those 6-ounce cans. Just keep that in mind, that you're filling it with something flammable at high pressure that's in the cab. So just keep that in mind. I'm not here to judge one way or the other. I'm filling this with R134A, but yeah, I just thought I'd include that part. And I guess before I go any farther, so if you're going to fill it with these canisters from auto stores, at least the Red Tech says to fully evacuate the system, so refrigerant shouldn't be released into the air, so you should take it to a shop to get it evacuated and recycled. And if you fill it with those cans, and it doesn't work for whatever reason, and you can't diagnose what's the problem, and you take it to a shop, please tell the shop that you have filled it with the Red Tech or whatever, filled it with something other than R134A, so that they know not to wreck their AC machine with this other substance. So I'll just put that here, just common courtesy if you take it to a shop, just to do that. So now we're gonna get into some diagnostics here. So this car is, I don't even know, 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. So over time, there's possibility for leaks, whether it be at connections, like that, at your test ports, the compressor seal, a lot of connections could possibly be leaking. It's under high pressure for 10 years. A lot of people can't keep oil leaks fixed, so you can't keep oil leaks fixed at no pressure. There's a high chance that refrigerant at 80 psi or whatever standby pressure, there's a good chance it's leaked out. So that's a pretty common issue, is it's leaked out and it no longer works correctly. The other possibility is on this system they use an RCV, so a refrigerant control valve. So this one's from RKX Tech. So right now, sitting still, we have temperature is about 30 degrees here. In Canada, we don't get real warm, 30, 35, but the humidity is the killer. So today is supposed to be 30, supposed to feel like 35 with the humidity. So that's about 80 Fahrenheit. So refrigerant pressure should stay pretty close to temperature. So you can see there R134A. So that's a quick and easy way to see that it's low. So the system that holds 575 grams, which is just over 20 ounces, it's a good chance it's low. So we're going to turn the car on, we're going to turn AC on and see what the pressures do. So really warm air coming out of there. So it's engaging, but that's still way too low. So operating temperature or operating pressure on the high side should be at least above 100, if not 150, 200, depending on the temperature. So we're gonna say we're low on refrigerant. So we have the system evacuated. Supposed to have 575 grams in there. We've got 20, so it's definitely low. So we gotta try and find the leak here yet. We're gonna pressure test with nitrogen and soap. Try and find the leak, repair it, and then refill and see what's going on. Okay, so we got some O-rings changed at the back there. We tested it with nitrogen at another shop. So we are certain it's fixed. Pressure checked it afterwards. Everything seemed good, held pressure. So up next you had to vacuum the system. So water in the system will boil under a vacuum at room temperature. So we want to put it under a vacuum for half hour or so. So that's what I've done. So this is all fairly budget equipment. So you basically open that up. It's already been vacuumed. That just kind of sucks away. So it's just got to stay there like that for a while. Which I've already done that. I'm just showing it here for just to kind of show it off. So then I can get this gauge set off and fill it up with some fresh refrigerant. Got to measure it out and check pressures again. So this is all fairly budget equipment, if you can't tell. Works really nice for mobile work, which is what I do mostly. So it saves carting a whole machine around with everything kind of separate like this. But yeah, let's get it filled up. Okay, so we got the gauge hooked up. So as I said earlier, holds 575 grams plus or minus 5. So that needs to be pretty accurate. So if you're filling it with those Red Tech cans, just keep that in mind. So that would be, I'm not good with my conversions here, 575 grams, I think it's just over 20 ounces. So the scale, I'll zero it in grams, so that's gonna be negative 575. So of course I didn't change it, and that RCV valve's bad. Lower side pressure was a touch high. It was about 45 or so. It should be ideally below 40, somewhere between 20 and 40. And vent temp was 25 degrees, so it was cool, but it wasn't cold. So we're gonna evacuate the system, and we're actually gonna change it. All right, so I thought I'd just put a little insert here while I'm editing the video. So at this point here, we've got the car charged up with the correct amount of refrigerant. So with it running, you can see this vent here, we were 20 degrees Celsius, so that's cool, but it's not cold. The passenger side was actually cold, and the driver's side was hot. I didn't catch on until after I changed the RCV valve that was going on. So that would have been a dead giveaway. There's something wrong in the HVAC box. But yeah, I didn't catch that. So I don't normally deal with RCV variable displacement compressors. Most of the stuff I work on is clutched, so it's a bit of a new system. Low side pressure was about 45, which seemed high to me. But I guess with these RCVs, anywhere from 30 to 45 is usually pretty acceptable. If the RCV is failed, you'll see a low side pressure of 50 to 80, so it's not actually pumping refrigerant that you need it to pump. So this RCV part here for the next couple minutes that I'm going to replace wasn't actually the issue on this car. The first issue was having no refrigerant, and then the second issue is an HVAC issue that I'll cover off here. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. Not a chance. But so anyways, so you can see that's a Sandon. You got the model there. And then in that top corner, right up, come on, right up, right where my finger's kind of pointing, you can see PXE16. So that seems to be the model that most of the online retailers go by. So yeah, so sand in PXE16, and then that way you can get the right RCV. I put it. So I just lube those O-rings up with a bit of PAG oil and then put it together. So doing AC repairs, cleanliness is very important, so don't let this roll around on the floor or in the gravel. Same kind of deal. Clean up all the crud and stuff around here. So then just undo this connection, same as any Volkswagen or most Volkswagen connectors. And then you just got that snap ring, and then that should pry out. So I'm gonna get both hands to get the snap ring out, and then we'll compare the old to the new. So here we go, here's the old one out. I'm extremely impressed on how tough this plastic is bonded to the body here. I had to go, hammered it in and out probably 5 or 6 times. So if you live somewhere that gets a lot of salt on the roads and stuff, that compressor body is really corroded. So it just kept kind of going in and out slowly, a bit of penetrating oil each time, till I got to the point where you saw the video there. Yes, a couple bigger pry bars, stuff like that. So we're gonna clean up the surface, we're gonna pop the new one in. I've already lubed up the O-rings, then we're ready to recharge. Okay, so we have AC working early in here, so this vent is really cold. This one's kind of cold. This one's warm. And this one's hot. So if we turn the dial to warm it up, let's go 25. Climbed up to 25 pretty quick. Put it back down to low. So it slowly comes back down to 20, whereas this one already almost 30. We turn that to 25. This vent temp doesn't change at all, so I'm thinking we got an air flap stuck on the left hand side here making things warm. So we're gonna dig into that here yet. So we've actually got codes for left temperature stuck, right temperature stuck, fresh air stuck, and fresh air short to ground. So it's got 276 on, so nothing was real recent. So I guess we'll go to adaptations and see if we can hear stuff moving. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, so this is kind of funny. It's a bit of a self-inflicted issue here. So you basically have a bunch of different flaps for your different temperature settings, and whether it's going to route it through the heater core or through just the evaporator will depend on how far you twist this. So I figured I had the flap door stuck for this side here, so that VCDS scan showed they were all stuck at one time, with this one stuck recently. So pop this bottom panel off, which I think I had good instructions on in my heater core video. I'll put the link up top. But if you look at this white crusty guy here. There. You'll see he's jammed, and of course that is the heater core cover. So I got the bottom 2 bolts and that top one. I don't remember if I just didn't put it in because I didn't have a good socket or what the deal was. But so if I turn this, temperature is at 25 right now. If I turn it cold, see how much farther it goes. This is me turning it hot. Oh. So that'll be full through the heater core. And then yeah, if I turn it the other way, it gets jammed in. So I'm going to get that bolt in where it needs to be, and that should fix my varying temperature across both, or through all the vents here. So we're just getting back from a drive here now, just for testing. Car says it's 28, 29 degrees Celsius. The probe said it was about 33 outside on the barrel. So we're about 7 degrees vent temp with fan on low, so that's about best case scenario. So ideally it should be around just above freezing, so about 0 degrees or just above. If you hit 0, the evaporator will freeze up and it'll block airflow. So yeah, 5, 7, it's going up a little bit there now, less airflow, so that'd be about 10. It's about as good as it's gonna get, I think. You always lose a bit of temp from the evaporator through the heating ducts, or the cooling ducts obviously. Bit of leakage to the heater core, flaps, stuff like that. So pretty happy with that there now. So that'd be a pretty good delta if it's about 20 degrees or so. I know with farm equipment we usually said 17 degrees Celsius is pretty good delta, especially at this temperature. But yeah, it definitely knocks humidity down. It's nice and cool in here now. So this video definitely did not end up how I had planned it. Yeah, so low refrigerant was the first issue. That RCV valve, I don't think that needed to be done, but I guess I have a video of that now. And then I think the main issue after we had refrigerant in it was that stuck floor valve down there, or stuck air flap valve. So definitely happy with that now, and yeah, hopefully this kind of helps diagnose your air conditioning issues. So thanks for watching.